about me. I'm now a senior majoring in law, and this is my fourth year in NTU Toastmasters, and I have finished 7 speeches. I was once the C1 workshop instructor and one of the judges in Freshman Cup. Besides, I got the first place in evaluation contests at both area and division level, and I attended the national contest. Okay, after this, what does SGD mean? What does SGD stand for? Does anyone know? Okay, it stands for Study Group Discussion. And now I would like to introduce the outline of this SGD. First, I'll introduce what evaluation is and why we evaluate. After that, I'll introduce some basic rules, of course. And how to evaluate. I will separate this portion into 3 parts: before the speech, during the speech, and after the speech. Later on, there will be an interesting video, and there will be time for you to practice. So this is the outline today, and hope you enjoy. So first, what is evaluation? In Toastmasters meeting, there are 3 kinds of evaluations. They are individual evaluation, language evaluation, and general evaluation. In individual evaluation, there will be one individual evaluator evaluate one speaker's speech. And this is what we're going to focus on today, individual evaluation. And as an individual evaluator, we try to give suggestions, offer suggestions for the speaker and to help them improve. And we try to encourage them. Therefore, according to our really experienced club member, Joy Chen, IE can also stand for improvement and encouragement. So the 2 key elements, improvement and encouragement. So why we evaluate? First, as we evaluate someone's speech, we make progress ourselves. Through the process of rethinking and digesting what and how the speaker presented, we learn from their experiences. And this is one of the benefits we learn from evaluation. Besides, being an evaluator, you don't need to spend too much time in advance for preparation, and you get a chance to stand on the stage and practice. Moreover, you can practice how to organize a mini speech in a really short time, since your evaluation will also include opening, body, and conclusion. And this is the same way we structured our prepared speech, right? After that, it is an exciting challenge combining impromptu from table topics and the knowledge we learned from prepared speech. In short, being an individual evaluator might be challenging, but also rewarding. Okay, and here are some basic rules. First, about the time limit. You have 2 to 3 minutes to evaluate. You will see the green board when you reach 2 minutes. Yellow board, 2.5 minutes, and red board, 3 minutes. This means that you can't go over 3.5 minutes, or you will be disqualified from winning the individual evaluation prize. And mostly, the evaluator's CC level will be higher, or at least be equal to the speaker's level. For example, if you are a C5 speaker, then you can evaluate C1 to C5 speaker speech. And the purpose of individual evaluator is to help the speaker improve and encourage them. We try to comfort them. So the 2 key elements again, improvement and encouragement. So remember that it is not for criticizing. And actually, the art of giving suggestions without hurting others' feelings is one of the most important skills we learn in evaluation. Okay, so after knowing all these general concepts, it's time for us to really know how to evaluate. Let's start. First, how to evaluate. I will divide it into 3 parts: before the speech, during the speech, and after the speech. Before the speech, you can do a little preparation. And during the speech, it's really important to take some notes. After the speech, it's time for you to really structure your own evaluation. So 3 parts. First, before the speech. Before the speech, you can check the speaker's speech title and start to brainstorm. You can think about some materials for your opening or your conclusion. Why for opening and conclusion? It is because that the opening and conclusion are often the most difficult parts in one's evaluation. For the body part of your evaluation, you can simply collect materials from the notes you wrote while listening. However, it often needs some creative ideas to make your opening and conclusion impressive. For example, if I see Claire's speech title as My Only True Love, then I may start to brainstorm what Claire is going to deliver. Maybe a really romantic story with Ivan, how they met and what happened between them and so on. And maybe I can even come up with a quote related to true love, like, true love doesn't mean inseparable, it means being separated and nothing changes, etc. And remember that you may or may not use these materials. If they are unsuitable, then think of a new one. Okay? So after the first part, let's move on to the second part during the speech. During the speech, it's really important to take some notes. You may ask, what am I going to write down? I would say write whatever pops into your mind. It may be some keywords, for example, a signature phrase or a signature sentence that the speaker keeps repeating in his speech. Or it may be some core value or the main message of the speaker's speech. Moreover, you can write down your thoughts, ideas, and feelings. For example, if I think the speaker introduced beatbox in a really intriguing and absorbing way, and he gave great demonstration of doing beatbox, then I may write down intriguing, absorbing demonstration, and so on. So after you know what you're going to write down, it's time for our note-taking style. And I believe everyone here has the experience of taking notes, no matter in class or in a meeting. So everyone can develop their own note-taking style, of course, as long as they are clear enough for you to read and review later on. And here, I would like to provide some tips of mine. First, abbreviation. What is an abbreviation? Yeah, abbreviation is a short form of a sentence or a word. Therefore, instead of writing every letter of the word, you can use abbreviation to shorten the word. Since if you write down the exact word of what the speaker said, you might miss the next sentence or the next part of the speaker's speech. Therefore, for example, you can write down PPL instead of people, SOC instead of society, EG stands for example. More, IE means that is, IMP means important, SB means someone, and of course you can create your own abbreviations. Besides, you can also use some symbols, like this is a symbol of because, this is a symbol of therefore, and this means lower, higher, more than, less than, equal, and you can use some arrows to show some causes and effects. So symbols like these. Of course, you can also create your own symbols. And besides the abbreviation, symbols, you can also do some drawings. For example, you can draw a person instead of writing the word person. Abbreviations, symbols, and drawings may help you save your time while taking notes. However, the most important thing is that make sure you know what they mean. And of course, you can create your own abbreviations and symbols. But remember that, make sure you know what they mean, or you won't understand what you are writing. Okay, and this is my notes. Usually, I separate my individual evaluation paper into two parts. Left side, good points, right side, suggestions. And from top to bottom, they're opening, body, and conclusion. So for example, if I think I like the way how the speaker started his speech, he raised a question, then I may write down, raise question here. So for example, then if the speaker doesn't have any interaction with the audience, and I think he should, then maybe I'll write interaction here under the suggestion part. Okay. So this is my note, and of course you can develop your own note-taking style. So after the first part, before the speech, second part, during the speech. Now let's move on to the third part, after the speech. After the speech, it's time for we to analyze our notes. First, we need to identify our handwriting. Therefore, it is really important to keep your handwriting neat and clear enough for you to read and review later on. And after that, decide what to say and what to eliminate. That is, you may have plenty of ideas to say. However, you only have limited time, 2 to 3 minutes. Therefore, choose some key points that you would like to tell us. After knowing what you're going to say, you can write down your final notes and mark the time sequences. Mark what you're going to say from the beginning to the end of your evaluation. And in Toastmasters meeting, we are allowed to bring notes on stage. Then I'll move on to the structure of your evaluation. Remember that individual evaluation is also a mini speech, so it includes 3 parts also: opening, body, and conclusion. And since you're evaluating others' speech, there are 2 key elements. You are going to talk about the good points you observe and the suggestions that you would like to offer. And both good points and suggestions are indispensable. It means they are 缺一不可. If you only talk about some good points, that may seem like flattering. And if you only talk about suggestions, it is too discouraging, right? Okay, then I'll move on to the opening part of your evaluation. Here I would like to provide 3 ways for the opening. First, you can talk about what impressed you the most. For example, Minna delivered a really informative speech. For us today, instead of feeling dull and bored, we audience feel interested and intrigued. I believe Minna has the magical power to turn something serious and complicate to light and playful. So this is the place where I tell everyone why mini speech is so impressive. Besides, you can also apply the 梗 from the speech. That is, you can choose something special from the speaker's speech and put it into your own evaluation. For example, in one of my contests, there was a speaker ended his speech with a song. And that song covered his core value of his speech. And he sang, "Give me some sunshine, give me some rain, give me another chance, I wanna grow up once again."